this would be bombastic and dangerous, but I love the idea of it. And I say dangerous because you'd be, but they're just pendulums. You could do it, you could really open, as we said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then here, so this is saying you don't spin off, and then at this point, you do your ground score in the turnaround, and then whoosh, you get the fire effect. That would be a fantastic opening. The danger of that is if you don't do the turn long enough, you won't get enough fuel off of the poi. So you'll get the transfer later when you do the taps. And the transfer with the taps won't matter so much with something like jeans, but it would matter a little bit more with something more like leggings, like I wear all the time, because they're thinner. But jeans that like, you know, jeans are pretty thick. It's just a transfer, it'll go out. They're lit on fire, but they're not really spun out. So they're kind of dripping with fuel a little bit maybe. Instead of doing it like this, do it the same thing I said. So do the together time, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then here, since they're both, do a together time circle instead of, because a lot of times when you do the ground score with the circle, you spread your arms. But instead of spreading your arms, you can keep both of them in the same place as you go around. That is an opening. I guess it depends on how you fuel your prop. So if the way you fuel your prop is something like, no. But if the way you fuel your prop is you wait and all the bubbles are gone, yeah, because you haven't spun out. And when the thing is you still haven't spun at this point. You're just doing pendulums. When you do this and you dip, once you come out, before you light, it's not necessary, it might still be dripping. When you light it, or when he lights it, make sure you light from the bottom, but the side of the bottom. So you don't want his hand under it, you want his hand to the side, because it might still be dripping fuel, and once you light it, it's flaming fuel, and that is less pleasant. It would not be weird, I mean, I've actually done performances like this, it would not be weird where at this point, while you're doing these pendulums, you're actually dripping flaming fuel off the bottom of the poi. Because you're trying to do something very specific timing-wise, and because the music cues are very important, not start the music until after the poi are lit. You want to make sure, because otherwise you'll miss your music cue. And then you want to get into position, so when you're in the opening of the piece, you dipped, you walk out onto your stage, you put your poi over to your left, right? Because then if you put the poi over to the side of you, then the flame isn't going to come up your body in the front. Then you might light from there, and you start the music at that point. When it comes on, you're already in your first pendulum, so that will count as the 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then your ground score. You should be on your right side when you're starting the ground score. So your audience is here in front of you, and that way you're coming into the audience initially with the ground score. So they see the biggest part of the opening of the flame. This, 2, and 3, and 4 to your ground score in together time. Then the second one is corkscrews and together time. And then a together time turnaround. Then the third one is corkscrews again. And then this one is a separated arm. Then the next one is taps. Right, so when you're doing the taps, this is where you could be walking forward, backward, side, stage, whatever makes sense. And then out of this one, I think you'll end up turning the other way. Then come facing side stage, and you're gonna go into the pendulums, 2, 3, 4, and then turn with the pendulum, the long arm pendulum. And then you're gonna come back to the front into these, and then as you come out to the side, so when you go around your head, right, around the head, and you're out, you're back to the place where you can do that pendulum turnaround. Or if you prefer, you could just do this turnaround, whichever one you want.